What is going on, everyone? My name is Jared, and at Best Seat of the Track 2, today the front stretch studio looks a little bit different, too. A lot of things are going on here, too, but we're still bringing the same action, too. Today, I am joined by Bryan Gable, who is our author to Up to Speed. Bryan, how is everything today with you?
Hey Jared, I'm doing well. It's another beautiful day here in Southwest Florida, and looking forward to some racing in Las Vegas this evening.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been pretty interesting racing this weekend of Las Vegas with the Xfinity and truck race. I do want to talk about some news that developed over the weekend too. Daniel Hemric is going to Kaulig Racing in 2022. Uh, Hemrick has been the bridesmaid. He has 9 of the 12 of his second place finishes and no wins in NASCAR. Do you think this change of scenery is going to help Hemrick finally break through into victory lane?
Well, I still think he has a chance. I'm a little surprised that that long winless streak has continued this year with Joe Gibbs Racing, just considering how fast those cars always are in the Xfinity series. Uh, Kaulig normally does a great job. They build a great program, and my best guess is that Hemrick will probably continue to be very consistent, make the playoffs for sure, maybe even get to that championship race. And I think I saw something this morning that said he now has the most top five finishes without a win across the three major national NASCAR touring series. So you'd think that sooner or later something would have to fall his way, and he'd finally be able to get that victory. And that's certainly not out of the question with Colleague. But I think just going from Gibbs to Colleague, that chance is going to decline just ever so slightly week to week.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to decline on super speedways. They have that game plan down pat too. I think it might actually help him. It just seems like he always gets that bad luck. I just think of Charlotte where he led a majority of laps and wrecked out of the race. So I want to transition to the Cup Series. We whittled down the field to the round of 12, and it's pretty interesting. We're seeing the parity up there with Penske, Joe Gibbs Racing, and Hendrick Motorsports too, and Kevin Harvick. Who benefits the most with the three tracks that are coming up, which are pretty unpredictable with Vegas, Talladega, and Roval? And who do you think is going to struggle?
Well, there's definitely going to be a lot to watch for in these next three tracks. I think two drivers that some people may be overlooking in this round would be the Team Penske teammates Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano. Blaney, I think now that he's finally passed that first round that has some of his weaker tracks, I think he's probably going to excel in these next three races coming up here. Talladega, we know he can get the job done. He also won that very first race at the Roval in 2018. And even though Penske hasn't been quite as fast at the intermediate tracks, Blaney has a great, nice, consistent record at Las Vegas. So I would expect him to probably do pretty well there this week. Same goes for Joey Logano, also very solid, very consistent at Las Vegas, and he has a couple wins there. Talladega, he's also great. And then the Roval, he's been sneaky good there the last few years, and I think he even finished second last year. So my guess is that both of those guys will make it through, even though they're maybe not the most talked about right now. And then other drivers that I'm concerned about right now, Kyle Busch being one. I didn't think he would struggle as badly as he did through that first round of the playoffs, and honestly, kind of got bailed out by the playoff points that he accumulated during the regular season. Uh, Vegas, he's been good at times. Talladega never really been one of his great tracks, but then the Roval, he's had three bad finishes and crashed just about every year. So uh, we'll see what happens with Bush in that regard. And then other drivers that I'm watching are Alex Bowman. Uh, not he's not always been great at Vegas or Talladega, but he is excellent at the Roval. And just the only 3 races that the Cup Series had there, I believe he's gotten top fives in 2 of those and a top 10 in the other. So if Bowman goes into that last race being below the cut line, which I think there's a decent chance that he might be, he's going to be definitely one to watch to see if he can kind of bump somebody else out at the last minute.
I think you hit a point on the head that Penske can be sneaky good. This is going to be, these tracks here are actually pretty good for Penske. And I wouldn't be surprised, in 2020, who did we talk about? We talked about Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin. Who won the championship? Chase Elliott just snuck in there and won the championship. I wouldn't be surprised if a Penske driver sneaks their way into a championship. That brings me to my one of my favorite segments, to our next point, Bumper Stump. So, Brian, this week, in the springtime, Kyle Larson won at Las Vegas. Looks like a championship favorite. My question is, how many drivers have won at Las Vegas and won the championship in the same season?
Ooh, that is a good one. I know Truex in 2017, I believe, won there. That's one. Let me see. I think maybe Jeff Gordon did it once. I can't remember if he won there in 2001 or not. And then there might have been I know there's a bunch of guys who have been close. Carl Edwards a couple times, Matt Kenseth once, but the only ones that come to mind immediately are Truex and Gordon.
I know. Well, I'm looking for a number. So you're going with 2?
I'll say 2. Yes.
2. You unfortunately got stumped. It was 4 different drivers. You hit 2 of them. Truex in 2017 and Jeff Gordon in 2001. But Matt Kenseth did win his only race in 2003. And then there's also Jimmy Johnson, who won in 2006 and 2007. So we had a good streak going on that bumper stump, but it was definitely a hard one. We got, like I said, you gave it a good shot and definitely named off 2. So we're going to go with our final picks for the race before we get going to. I'm going with Kyle Larson. Like I said, I feel the momentum's going back on the 5 side. This is the right time to get hot. This was his first race he won the first race this season. This was his first win at Las Vegas. And Hamrick Motorsports is kind of back after getting a false stump. So I expect that 5 car to perform well, and I would not be surprised if Kyle Larson sweeps at Vegas. Who are you picking to win, Brian?
Well, I think I'm going to go with Martin Truex Jr. this weekend. We've seen him run well at Vegas in the past, 2017, like we mentioned, and it seems like that 19 team, which has kind of been up and down earlier this year, is just starting to catch fire at the right time. We saw Truex have some good runs earlier through the first round of the playoffs, so I'm going to say that that 19 team takes it to victory lane tonight.
I mean, Joe Gibbs is kind of hot right now. I mean, you got Hamlin that won at Darlington and Truex that won at Richmond. So, not a bad pick either, though. But, Brian, I do appreciate you being at the best seat at the track, too. And from everyone here at FrontStretch.com, follow us on Twitter. Go to FrontStretch.com to get all your NASCAR content. Enjoy your race.